Hi everyone, Brian here, and we're fortunate enough today to have an exclusive New Zealand first look at Khora, Rise of an Empire. Our supplier was very generous in being able to give us a copy of this early. It's not due out until August. So let's take a look and I'll give you a brief overview of how the game works. Alright, so this is the setup. We've got the main board up here with the player board and the chosen city from Greece. You have a choice of 8 different cities, and I'll get to those shortly. You also have the 7 player action cards numbered from 0 through to 6. Each player starts with a deck of 5 cards, and this is the event deck, which will cycle through over 9 rounds until the end of the game. The first and last cards are always the same. So you begin with growing populations and end with conquest of the Persians. The other 7 cards are determined at random and shuffled in, and the remaining cards go back to the box. So let's take a look. So you can see here I've chosen Olympia. I chose that one to demonstrate here today because that's the one I used when I demoed this game, and it's one I'm most familiar with. So each faction comes with a series of particular actions that are unique to them. For example, Olympia can start the game with 1 extra tax. So if we have a look on the board here, so the game is effectively moving up tracks. You have the citizens, tax, glory, and troops tracks. Whenever each one of your tokens makes it to a track that has this shield on it, that means that you get to place your shield of your color, as determined here, on the appropriate achievement. Okay, the troops symbol. Once you do that, you get 1 glory and 1 tax. Citizens are used to assist you with dice rolls. So each player begins the game with 2 dice in their color, with a 3rd dice on their player track that can be unlocked once they get their culture up to level 4. You begin the game by rolling a dice, and for each dice you can assign it to an action on your action boards. Now the action boards, as I said before, are labelled from 0 to 6, and you can place your dice on any action board that is equal to or lower than the number on that die. So for example, with the 2 that I just rolled, I can place that on 0, 1 or 2, and with the 6 I get to place that anywhere I like. So let's say, for example, I decide to place my 6 on politics. It says here I may play 1 politics card from your hand. So let's take a look at the cards now. Alright. So the cards come in 3 different varieties. You have the yellow instant effect cards, the purple persistent ongoing effect card, denoted by the infinity symbol, and the end of game scoring cards in brown. And you can see the points symbol there. So in order to use this card, I would need to have 3 coins and 1 of these amphora symbols. Now the way that I can get those, so for example, if I chose action 3 rather than 5, it says I can gain 1 coin more than your current economy level. My economy level at the moment is 1, so I would receive 2 coins. And then you may buy 1 of those coloured symbols up here, either the amphora, the hoplite, or I believe that's a lyre, if my asterisk law serves me correctly. And those are used as resources to purchase these politics cards. So for example, if I wanted to put silver mining into play, I would need 3 coins and an amphora symbol. I happen to have those here. So I pay my coins, pay my amphora, and I get to put silver mining into play. Now I gain this benefit immediately because it has this little lightning bolt arrow. I gain 2 tax. So I put that into play and I gain 2 tax. Now at the beginning of the next round, when I collect my tax, I will now collect 4 coins. and you can see that how that will soon build up over time. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are two ways to obtain these resource tokens. One is by purchasing them, which can be quite expensive. The other is through military. So if you get your troops up to, say, 6 like this, I can have a look over here and I could say, well, I have 6 troops, so I can go off to war and see what I come back with. So let's say, for example, I needed a hoplite symbol. Because no one's taken these symbols yet, I can start at the top, which are the cheapest. And this one tells me that I need 2 troops to take this symbol, and when I do, I'm going to lose 2 troops. So I take the symbol, I lose 2 troops, but now I get to add that to my resources. And the same is with all the other symbols here. Now, the ones that have the laurel wreath around them represent glory. So each time I take one of those, I can increase my glory. They are, of course, more expensive. I also gain this additional benefit under here. In this case, I would get 1 coin and 1 victory point. So the game turns are very clearly labeled here, from A through to G. The turn starts with an event announcement, and that is done by turning the top card. So let's say we're into the second round now. We flip the top card. Supplies from Lydia, which means each player begins with, or doesn't begin, but gets 3 coins when this card comes into play. Not immediately. Next is tax. So you gain tax appropriate to whatever level your tax token is on, in this case 4. So you get 4 coins. Next, we roll our dice. Pretty miserable rolls, but okay. We place those on our appropriate actions. We then take the actions on our dice, starting from the lowest and moving up to the highest. Now, this game is done in simultaneous rounds, so everyone will be taking their turns at the same time. So all the zeros go, then all the 1s and the 2s, and so on. Once everyone has taken all of their actions, we move to section E next, which is progress. Choose one track, either economy, culture, or military, and pay the cost to increase it by 1 level. Next, we move on to event resolution, and this is where we get to apply the effect of the event card. In this case, each player would now collect their 3 coins. And then finally, we go to the milestone. This is where we check to see if anyone has unlocked a milestone on their turn. So if, for example, I was on the 6th point on the troops track, I would be able to unlock that particular achievement. Now, if you drop down below due to spending resources or losing them somehow, you don't lose this achievement. This achievement is locked in once you've got it, so that's safe. Alright, and if you have unlocked your achievement, then you get rewarded with your +1 glory and your +1 tax. Now, each of these symbols up here that I just explained before can only be gained by the first player to achieve each of those goals. So if, for example, I was the first to get troops, that no other player can take that particular symbol. There's another one here for citizens, and the others are dotted around the place, depending on what the action is. For example, if I get my economy up to 4, I can take the economy symbol. And additionally, there are philosophy tokens, and these are denoted by these little scroll tokens here. Alright, if you have a scroll token, you can check down here at each appropriate phase. You've got C, D, and E, which correspond to these events on the turn track. For example, in the C phase, when I roll the dice and choose my actions, I can spend a scroll to get 3 citizens. Now, citizens can be used to increase my roll. So, for example, before I rolled a miserable 1, maybe I wanted a 4. So I could spend 4 citizens to increase the dice to a 4 and take that particular action during that round. The other actions here are I can spend 2 scrolls to choose any one of the resources from the supply, not from the military area. Or I can, during the E phase, I can spend 1 scroll to either progress 1 economy, 1 culture, or 1 military appropriately. So basically the game is going up tracks, collecting resources, rolling dice to take actions, buying politics cards to increase your abilities, and increasing your culture, economy, or military appropriately. At the end of the game, the person with the highest number of victory points is the winner. And effectively, that's the game in a nutshell. You move around the tracks, gain your victory points. At the end of the 9th round, the winner is determined, and that's the game. So that was Khora, Rise of an Empire. It looks like a really great game. I really enjoyed playing it when I got a chance to try it at WellieCon, and I'm looking forward to perhaps adding it to my collection one day once it's released. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join us next time. Bye for now.